All right, welcome back everyone. Dr. Ben, not a real doctor here. I recently had a question basically asking how to deal with burnout and depression. This is not medical advice. I understand how serious depression can be. In 2013, my mom took her own life, which gave me a chance to experience my own little existential crisis. So I'm not making light of depression. I just want to share my opinion and things that I do to help deal with just the stresses of modern day life. And this can be more information for you on helping you decide whether or not you need to get professional help, whether you need medication. This is just information to help you decide what you need to do for yourself. This is not medical advice. All right, with that said, first let's talk about burnout. In life, I feel like there are a few categories of things, right? There are things you have to do, things you think you have to do, or also the things that you quote unquote should do, and the things that you want to do. There needs to be a balance. You need enough things you want to do to balance out the things you have to do. And there are a few ways to look at this. Number one, a lot of the things that we think we have to do, we don't actually have to do. We've told ourselves and we've convinced ourselves that we have to do them. Things you have to do are like go to the bathroom, eat, drink, sleep. Those are things that you really, really have to do. There are other things that sort of slip into that category. Paying taxes is one of them because eventually that one's gonna get real bad if you don't. But there are other things that we've told ourselves we have to do that we don't necessarily have to do. And those are the things where you can affect the biggest change. A lot of people, if you have a job you don't like, you tell yourself that you have to keep doing it. You have to do it for this reason or that reason, and you just keep doing it. When instead what you should be doing is looking for a way to do a different job, change things up. You don't have to keep doing that job. There's a way to change that, right? So it's these things that we think we have to do that tie us into situations that make us unhappy. And I feel like that is a big, big part of where burnout comes from. We're just constantly doing things that we think we have to do. We're constantly running the hamster wheel, and there's no time for the things we want to do. There's no balance. It's all things that you have to do and probably don't want to do, and no things that you want to do. So a big way to avoid burnout is balancing those things. And a huge key to that is saying no. It's it's a two-letter word. It can be incredibly hard to say, but it can give you a lot of power to control your situation and take charge of your life and spend more time doing the things you want to do for yourself. It is not selfish to make yourself a priority and take care of yourself. That's the only way you're gonna it's the only way that you're really, really going to be able to have the energy to do the things that you really have to do. Life has to have a balance. If it's all have-tos and no want-tos, you're gonna be miserable. You're just gonna be miserable. I think hustle culture plays a big part in this. The more people focus on doing more and doing more, the harder it is to relax when you do have downtime. You have to give yourself permission and set aside time to relax and unwind. Keep in perspective, the average hunter-gatherer worked about 15 hours a week. So just the standard work week is way, way over what most hunter-gatherers will say. When I say hunter-gatherers, the human nervous system is really like designed to handle. And then you add in all the other stressors of modern day life, and you're looking at a situation that requires a lot more downtime than we tend to give ourselves. So another important factor in avoiding burnout is making your health a priority and putting that way up on the list, because that's actually gonna let you get more done in less time and be happier doing it. So in that regard, to sum up, my two major recommendations on avoiding burnout is saying no and making yourself a priority so that you can do things that you want to do. And two, do things you want to do. There's no point in working really hard and making lots of money and never having the time to enjoy it. Let's talk about depression now. I feel like burnout and depression are very closely related, almost like depression is the next step of burnout. If you don't heed the feelings you're getting during burnout and take a break and reassess, you're gonna end up in depression. And I feel like, again, my personal opinion, that depression is largely related to stress levels, right? And stress is mostly up here in your head. And when I say in your head, I don't mean it doesn't exist. It has to do with your perception. What stresses one person out might be a really good time. My girlfriend hates heights. I would have a great time skydiving. She would think it was horrifying. Same situation, different experience of the situation. And stress is the same way, right? So when your stress levels are really high for a really long time and you don't see a way out, you start looking for other ways out that are, we'll say, less healthy. That's when things like drinking and drugs comes in. That's when suicide thoughts start coming in. It's because you don't see a better way out. And this can be very, very serious. As I said, my mom took her life in 2013. So I don't want to say don't get help, don't take medication. That is all for you to decide. I highly recommend seeking professional help in the case that you are depressed. I personally feel like medication is overprescribed in a lot of cases, and that the root cause is kind of overlooked in place of medication. But again, that's my opinion and how I see things. If I'm gonna use myself as an example, if I'm starting to feel like I'm burned out, I'm run down, I don't have options, what do I like to do to help give myself a leg up and move myself forward to start getting things going back in the positive direction? The biggest thing that helps me is setting really, really tiny little goals and rewarding yourself when you meet them. This can be as simple as setting your alarm and getting up when the alarm goes off. What you do to reward yourself is up to you. Maybe it's you take yourself out for a cup of coffee. Maybe it's you watch a TV show once you get up. It's really important to start building these habits of rewarding yourself for goals that you've achieved. And when you're feeling really, really, really weighed down, really heavy, and that everything is insurmountable, it's really important to make these really tiny, really easily achievable goals. These goals will build upon themselves, and as you achieve these little goals, you'll feel more comfortable moving on to bigger goals. And like I said, it can be setting an alarm and getting up when the alarm goes off. If you want to get healthier, go for a 5-minute walk. If you have a dog and you want them to behave better, do 2 minutes of training. Little tiny goals can really set you up and make it feel like you can reach the bigger goals, which you can reach the bigger goals. It just doesn't feel like it right now. Going back to what I said in the burnout, it's really important to say no and make yourself a priority and take care of yourself. No one else is gonna do it for you. You have to start doing these small things to get the ball rolling, build momentum, and start getting things to a place where you feel like you can really affect change and change the situations that are seriously dragging you down. Something else that really helps in these situations is having a really good support network. These are people that you can go to and talk to who aren't gonna commiserate. You don't want people that you're gonna sit down with who are gonna complain about everything with you. Complaining isn't gonna solve the problem. What you need are solutions. You do not need problems. So associate with people that are going to help you solve the problem rather than focus on the problem. Super important here. If you feel like you may need help, you probably need help. Go get help. I don't care about the stigma. I understand that it's hard to get past, but go get help. I want to see anybody else end up like my mom did. Go get help. So make yourself a priority, say no, set little micro goals, reward yourself, and spend time with people who are gonna help you with solutions, not problem-based thinking. Anyway, those are my thoughts on burnout and depression. If you guys have stuff you like to do that really helps in these situations, please share them down in the comments below. I love to hear what you guys think, and somebody may really need to hear it. I recently put out an online course on breathwork. Breathwork, specifically what I'm talking about in this course, is reprogramming your breathing patterns so that you lower your stress and anxiety levels and giving you some functional breathing patterns that you can use to help improve your focus or increase relaxation, let go of anxiety. I'll put a link down in the description below for that course. It's a great tool to help you take control over stress and anxiety. If you like this video, smash the thumbs up. If you know somebody who needs to hear this, please share the video with them. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. And until next time, keep your life in motion.